G'day, back in the brewery again, and today's beer is, I'm repping a bit, I didn't mean to, well, it is a Bridge Road t-shirt, it is a Bridge Road Canvent pack so, yeah, it was probably bound to happen. This is the old classic Bling IPA, so I don't really have to talk about this too much. For the people that don't know, I can read what it says. First brewed in 2007, Bling was a pioneering IPA in the modern era of Australian craft beer. It's lush, full-flavoured beer that combines old-school IPA style and new wave juiciness. Big tropical and citrus notes bring the noise. So it's just the light isn't right. It was dark on this side of the room. As I've got to turn the cans into the light. Bring the noise. Let me start that bit again. Big tropical and citrus notes bring the noise and just the right amount of bitterness to let the magic linger. I think I mentioned, I don't know, last week sometime, that Bridge Road beers, if you haven't had one for a while, I think they were all refreshed a bit after the cough and stuff. So if you haven't tried one for a while, it's probably a good time to try it. Now, I haven't had a Bling for a few weeks. I can smell that as soon as I open up the can. But it's got that classic Bridge Road flavour. Just going to keep that out of it. It's still, this has got a bit of cloud to it too. It's not quite clear as I've seen it sometimes. Oh, dank. But it's I think it's lighter on the dank than it used to be. But it's not super dank where you go, whoa, wow, that's dank, but it might look like I did then. There's very much dank overtones. Does that even make sense? There's not too much I can say about this. I thought a kid was going to come bursting through then. But if you haven't tried it, you should. I think they've backed off on the bitterness a little bit, maybe. Because they keep modernising the recipe. Not too much. It's still the classic IPA, but they've, as I said before, they've freshened things up a bit. I think they could have possibly backed off on it might be too cold, but backed off on the bitterness a little bit. But it's more or less, it's always been like a classic American IPA. Not so much a West Coast, but that classic American IPA, like the, I don't know, I'd probably compare it to something like, what was that, the Zombie Lust, something along those lines. But yeah, that's not too bad. I prefer it fresh on tap in the brewery, but it's drinking nicely. Yeah. As I said, don't expect a West Coast IPA. Don't expect a juicy, a big, low bitter beer. But I think the bitterness has gone down a little bit in this one. It's a classic. If you haven't had a classic, there'll be a lot of young people, probably not watching my videos, but there'll be a lot of young people that have been drinking craft beer for maybe 5 or 6 years that haven't had a classic American style IPA, if they haven't had this beer. Yeah, there's still a few around these days. I guess you could even look at Crankshaft. Is it the Crankshaft? One of their beers that I think is a kind of like a classic IPA. Got to watch. I don't see their beers around here much, but when I go up in New South Wales, I have them a lot. So I think it's the Crankshaft. But this one's holding a nice head. I don't get much lacing because I'm spinning the glasses around too much, tasting them, and that ruins the lacing. If you want lacing, you have a sip and you put your beer down, and the lacing dries. Then you can do that really easily with most beers, as long as they've got a head. But this is just nice. Again, there's not much else to say about this beer. It's their classic, one of their flagship beers, I believe. I've got a double Bling inside. I should, hang on a sec. 1 second. Yeah, I just had to go inside because I got from their club pack last month, or their summer club pack, the double Bling The Bling Imperial IPA, that was nice too. Was that worth the trip inside? I don't know. Cheers. See you tomorrow. See you tomorrow. Oh, for those that don't know, Beechworth do have a brewery in East Brunswick now, not just the one in Beechworth. So if you're in the area of Melbourne, it's a little bit out of the city, but it's just a tram ride. Yeah, you can check it out there. It's very different from there's the country one that's like a country brewery, and then the city one's like a city brewery. It's very, very different. But go and check it out. The beers are the same. Plenty of taps there, plenty of space, plenty of bars. Get in there and visit. Cheers. I think it used to have a bit more caramel in it too. I think they've backed off a little bit on the sweetness. And the bitterness is coming out a bit more now. It's warmed up a little. Yeah, old school American IPA. Bit of dank, bit of pine. That's that sort of thing. Cheers.